Welcome to beautiful Tallinn, Estonia. It is 70 degrees and sunny with actually no wind, which is surprising because the entire time I've been in Scandinavia and the Baltics, it's been very windy, but little rain, so I'll take that. And I feel like I'm in the medieval times. I really do. You got this guy practicing archery with his bow. Hopefully nobody gets shot. Beautiful castle wall. And this is one place I'm actually very excited to be. You know, Scandinavia, after about 2 weeks, I was bored. It was really expensive, not much going on. Cities didn't have much to do. But Tallinn's aesthetic. Everything's very walkable. There's about 450,000 people in the city of Tallinn. And Estonia only has about 1.4 million people in the country. So Estonia, population-wise, is smaller than most of the states in the US. But check this out, man. Wow, look at that church. Whew. That's the Alexander Nevsky Cathedral right there. Quite historic. Lots of people out walking. More of the castle wall up there. Some more of the cathedral. And then here's some of the town as well. It's quite lively already. I think it's like 11 a.m. I don't really remember. I don't even know what today is. I do know I'll be home in 5 days. For the last 2 weeks, I've been counting down the time until I'm home. Pretty homesick. Pretty just unsatisfied and quite bored of Europe, honestly. It's just, the culture here is nothing to compare with Asia. And I really miss Asia. Tumpe Castle, which if you ask me, looks more like a palace. Where's the walls? Where's the courtyard? I would not say that's a castle, but still, you know, pretty aesthetic. Here's all the tourists congregating in the Danish King's Garden. And I'm getting some secondhand smoke, like I haven't gotten that enough the month I've been in Europe. That's also why I prefer Japan, because people can't just smoke anywhere. You know, there's so much fucking people smoking and killing themselves and being self-destructive. I'm just like, why? You know? Why are you wasting your money on that shit? Now take me back to Japan, because I'm tired of secondhand smoke. It fucking stinks. But pretty cool little tourist site. You got the cannon pointing off in the distance. This restaurant looking thing, and people smoking, people vaping, people sucking on nicotine pouches. Like, come on, man, grow up. What are we in high school? Some more aesthetics going on here. The streets of Tallinn. And here's some advice, which I'm going to take on my next trip. Go places that nobody mentions online if you're tired of touristy places. Because for me, I'm tired of the loud noises. I'm tired of the tour groups. I'm tired of all these crowds. I'm just tired of it, right? So next time I go someplace, I'm going to just look on a map and find a city or a town and say, huh, I've never heard of that. Nobody talks about that. Let's go. Because I get tired of the touristy shit, bro. It's all like the same thing after a while, you know? And most of these Europe cities I've been in are good for like 1 day, but I've been going to them for like 2-3 days, and it's just too long, too much sitting around. You know, I've seen it all in a day, and it's kind of boring. But hey, you know, we learn as we go. Town Hall Square in Tallinn, Estonia. You got a horse and a carriage, cool shops. But again, man, when you've been in Europe for a month, and each town has its own square and market and shops and churches, it kind of just gets old. It kind of just gets boring. You know, there's not much interaction with locals because there's so many tourists, and the locals are like bombarded with tourists anyway. But if you go to like a small town nobody talks about, there's probably going to be a lot of interaction with locals because they're like, oh my goodness, what are you doing here? Like when you go to Pakistan or Afghanistan, places people don't go to because the government's like, oh, it's not safe, it's not safe. But the locals are some of the friendliest, nicest, hospitable people. then you get good content and you get good interactions with people. But everybody here is just like dull to tourists, or numb to tourists, excuse me. Because, I mean, thousands of people come here every year, shopping and taking photos and sightseeing. It's like, I'm not gonna lie, like, it's very beautiful, but again, you get numb to it. I've been in Europe almost 5 weeks. I've been in, I think this is my 6th country already, and then I have Prague lastly. But yeah, man. Damn, it smells fucking horrible here, actually. I don't know what that smell is. Damn. You know, it's nice to walk through the town for a few hours, but after that, I mean, I've pretty much done it all. Which is why I advise you guys, I mean, I do walk pretty quickly, but even then, you could definitely see a lot of these small European cities, Riga, Tallinn, even in Scandinavia in like a day, bro. In like a day, and you save a lot of money on lodging and food and stuff like that. I mean, that's really what I would advise you to do, because they're not that big and they have the same like 5-6 sites. You look at it, you take a few photos, you move on to the next one. That's about it. Which is not bad, you know. If you've never done it before, you'll definitely get like a dopamine hit and enjoyment out of it. But for the guy that's been to Asia for a month and a half, went to Portugal for 2 weeks, and now I'm in Europe for 5 weeks at the moment, you want more. It gets old. One thing I live by is Americans know of 3 cities in Europe: Madrid, London, and Rome. That's all the places Americans want to go to on their vacation. Why are people followers? Why don't you just want to go out and do things that everybody else is not doing? I never understood that. Just like being in middle school and high school, when the holidays came around and all the kids got the same shoes and the same clothes, and I'm just like, I don't want to look like everyone else, you know? I want to do unique things that nobody's doing. And I don't understand this appeal of like Paris, Madrid, London, Rome, like the same 3-4 cities that every single American wants to go to. Like, go someplace else, man. Have a little adventure. Stop being so stereotypical. Look at these stones you have to walk on and drive on. I don't understand if that's good on the cars, because it's just constant like being jolted and bumpiness and just like shaking the car. It probably can't be good driving over this every single day. But one thing I wanted to mention is I had this humbling experience happen to me when I was in Latvia. It was raining out and I'd gone to the grocery store to, oh look, a Lambo SUV. It's pretty clean, nice inside. But yeah, I was walking to the grocery store, got my food on my way back, and it was raining out. And there's this guy, old man, he was crippled. He was using crutches to walk, so both of his legs didn't really work well. And just in the rain, seeing that, you know, it probably took him, I don't know, maybe a minute or so to, you know, walk 10, 20 feet. And here I am able to walk a mile quickly in like 12, 13 minutes. It was just kind of humbling, man, to see the state of him like that, because at one point he was a young man. Now who knows what got him in that position? Maybe through his own choices, like bad diet, smoking, drinking, whatever, or maybe it wasn't in his control at all. It was quite humbling. And even being in Europe, I guess maybe this is a good place for older people or couples to come to, because they can just relax and walk and eat at nice places and stuff like that, tour-eyed. But I see a lot of you know, older people here, and some of them are not in the best shape and cannot move that well and cannot walk that well. And it's just pretty humbling to me, because here I am at 22 traveling to these places that these other people are, you know, they probably have 5, 10, 15 years left, 20 years left maybe of living on this planet until they get old and go. So it's just, that's one thing that really humbles me, just being able to do this now, even though I definitely want more out of my travel experiences, like more interactions with locals, and just more adventure, you know, less touristy shit and sightseeing shit, more adventure. Now, luckily, I've figured that out within 3 trips. You know, Portugal, I was there 2 weeks. Asia, like I said, 6 weeks. Europe, 5 weeks. So luckily, I'm slowly learning what I want, and I'm kind of perfecting my craft in the sense of just how I want to structure my travels and my exploration and my content. So yeah, definitely next will be a place I'm a lot more interested in. Probably, like I said, Asia, but the Middle East is high up on there. South America is high up on there as well. And I think those would be really good experiences. And it's less money in those places too, man. You know, Europe's not the cheapest, but I've always had this goal of wanting to go to Scandinavia. You know, the nature is beautiful. It just seemed like a really cool place to me. Oh yeah, and that church I just showed y'all is St. Olaf's Church. It's like $9 to get in. But yeah, Europe's expensive and stuff like that. And Asia to me is just like a lot more hospitable, friendly-ish like people, you know, like I don't know, it's just a lot different. I like the Asia vibe more. I've said that time and time again, and that's just how I feel. You know, it's a decision I'm not consciously making. It's just through my own experience what I enjoy the most. Not that I don't enjoy Europe at times. Like the first probably week and a half, I was enjoying Europe quite a bit, and I got sick in Norway for 10 days, and that killed the vibe. And different people have different goals. Some people don't mind eating out in Europe all the time and going to the cafes. You know, I'm not too big into that. Some people want the aesthetic photos for IG and dating apps and shit like that. You know, a lot of the young women, it's like, oh, you know, I want to get photos at aesthetic, historical places, stuff like that, which is cool, you know. I mean, we all have different wants and desires and stuff like that. But I'm more in it for the development of myself and the interaction with locals and the experience in that way. Like, I could give a fuck about aesthetic IG shots to gain people's attention and get a bunch of likes. You know, I don't care about that. I just want cool experiences with people and to have fun. But to some people, I guess that's fun too, you know, the IG shots and eating at cafes and just walking around the city, you know. To each his own. I'm not getting on anybody. It's just how I see it. The castle wall, or the wall to the city. I don't really know. I'm just kind of winging it. But Estonia is a good place for one day. You can walk around it in a few hours, see what you want to see, and then leave. And by doing this, you'll probably save $50 a night on Airbnbs and 25 in food. So yeah, that's what I should have done. But instead, tomorrow, I'll have a free day to do anything I want, which probably won't be too much. So I'm gonna be a bit bored. The nature in Estonia really reminds me of that of home where I'm from in the US. So that's a little calming and reassuring. You know, the environment's kind of similar in a way. And I'll tell you guys this, if you're young, travel now. I've been putting it off for 4 years ever since I got out of high school. But once you take the leap of faith, it's really not that big of a deal, and it gets pretty easy, and it teaches you so much. You know, 3 months of travel has taught me more than all the time I spent in elementary school, middle school, and high school. It's just taught me more practical stuff and really confidence in myself and my ability, and just to follow through with plans and get things done, and to adapt when I need to adapt and change plans and make things work, you know? It's been really a blessing to develop me. Some graffiti on the abandoned buildings, which is pretty cool. I like that. You know, a lot of people don't like the vandalism, but on buildings like that, I really appreciate it. You know, the graffiti, it's just aesthetic, you know? I like it. I don't know. I used to hate it, but I like it now. I can admire it and respect it. But like I'm saying, when you guys are of age, 18, to travel and get a passport, please do it. Because you don't have really any responsibility. You know, you don't have a kid, you don't have a wife, you don't have a house payment. Let these buses pass by. And now is like one of the only times that you don't have to worry about anybody else. You don't have to be that responsible father. You don't have to be that responsible husband. You can just go and you can travel. And that's what you need to do. This is the Tallinn Creative City in Tallinn. And they're playing tennis, I think? Is that pickleball or tennis? I don't know, it's a weird looking racket, so it's definitely not tennis. But they're really nice courts. Damn, bro. Look at that. That's some nice courts, my goodness. This graffiti is beautiful, man. Like, how long did it take them to do this? And how? Oh my goodness, I love it. There's the train tracks, which I don't know, man. They don't look like they're in use. They look pretty overgrown and not maintained. It's a cool part of town though, right? You got some more artwork going on the buildings. This is the kind of stuff I like. I don't know why. It's just very unique and different, man. The creativity on these buildings. Like, look at the chameleon with the houses on his back. I like it. And then here's the piece I showed you, which actually I did not show, the astronaut right there. Oh my goodness, bro. This stuff is amazing. It's just so different and unique. You just don't see this stuff. Keep on losing touch with the world I'm in. Alter ego. I like this stuff, man. I'm falling in love with this little part of town, honestly. It's so unique. He's like Iconi Lomine. I don't know what the hell that means. But this stuff is sick. And then here we are back at the basketball court and volleyball court as well. That's the wrap on Estonia. Kind of saw it all in half a day. Walked around, had a decent little time. Come here for a day. There's not too much going on, but it's scenic. It's fun to walk around. 2 days is too long. So tomorrow, I need to find something to do with my day.